My name is Jalen Molden, and I wanted to discuss some things that I found and researched about the role of language, culture, and socioeconomic status in child development. First, let's go over why these are important. These are important because educators should understand in the unique ways that students absorb information. Not all students learn at the same capacity and at the same speed as everyone else. Some students are more hands on learners, some students are auditory learners, and some students are just visual learners. But not everyone in one class is going to be able to understand and absorb information in one uniform way. So educators have to understand how to diversify their lessons and modify their lessons to fit the needs of all students. Language is important because language is the foundation of all education. Reading, math, science, social studies, all is determined by the ability to comprehend and use language. Without a simple understanding of those language skills, students can fall short in following directions, expressing their ideas, and even demonstrating an understanding of basic educational materials. So that's reading passages or educational articles over whatever their lesson is for that day. Students fall short in actually understanding what that source is about. Even if they can read it, they lack comprehension skills, or they could lack comprehension skills. Students learn new words and sentences and sentence structures. They also develop memory, reasoning, and problem solving skills. So that goes along with actually understanding the language and being able to comprehend what's being read. They can learn how to solve different problems, whether that's in math, understanding word problems, or reading a passage, comprehending what that passage means, finding the main ideas and things like that. And in science, reading informative text and deciphering what's important and what's not. Moving on to culture. Why is culture important? A student's culture shapes that student's perspective or outlook on everything, whether it's education, relationships, or just attitude within itself. Those cultures can indirectly and directly affect the student's behavior. Cultural influences how students process information as well. Culture is also promotes respect and empathy. So teachers could use culture in a method to unite everyone in the classroom and show that everyone is different. So everyone has these unique abilities. So it's cool to learn about everyone's unique ways of learning and everyone's unique ways of just living life. Lastly, we're going to talk about why socioeconomic status is important. To me, this is the most important because it affects um, a larger group of students than I feel like anything else. Socioeconomic influences access to learning resources. Students with low income or come from low income families often have limited access to certain learning materials to enrich a student's understanding. So they lack those resources to computers or calculators to do certain assignments away from the school. So this is why having or filling these gaps can affect the academic readiness and long-term achievement of if school doesn't step in. These gaps can affect those deficiencies that students have within the classroom. Research shows that children from low economic status backgrounds may experience developmental delays due to stressors, nutritional deficiencies, and even lower literacy skills or low early literacy skills. Now, how do we ensure that every student learns? Educators are responsible for modifying lessons to meet those language needs of all students. Whether it's using visuals, simplified vocabulary, and displaying sentence starters to help push start those kids into using the proper language skills. Teachers are also able to use flexible grouping so that students can brainstorm and bounce ideas off one another. Provide multiple ways to show understanding. For those students who lack certain skills, those educators can, instead of asking them to mark A, B, C, or D on the paper or to answer a question, draw a diagram for me to show that you understand what I'm saying, or ask them to explain their answer verbally. Because a lot of students can look at a test, get the wrong answer, but if you read that question out loud to them and allow them an opportunity to explain that answer, they can get those questions right. And then from there, you can really branch off and figure out ways to get that student to understand, yes, you can verbally give me the answer. Now I need you to look at the paper or look at the test, and this is how we can change or modify you speaking the answer to me verbally correctly. Now we can put it on paper. Also, students can incorporate real world examples that reflect those students' everyday experiences. Allow them to bring examples or show examples. For instance, if we're talking about solids, liquids, and gases, use ice. Everybody knows what ice is. Everybody knows how to make ice. So if you use those real world examples for science, students can correlate that to what they see every day, and it's easy for them to learn and understand those methods.